Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Obscurity of Maximum Security with Kara Phillip and, most importantly, Mike Johnson. This episode, we are going to talk about furloughs and more.
Okay, the last exciting episode, we talked about court writs. All right, now we'll talk about furloughs. Okay, again, a furlough is where you take an inmate outside the prison to go to not court, but medical, possibly funerals. Those are very hard to get approved. So let's start with the medical ones that I dealt with. We had this inmate. This is another, weird story kind of, but we had an inmate that had a leg missing. Okay, so he was a young guy. He's like 30-ish, and it was below the knee.
Okay.
And so he had a prosthetic
leg.
Yeah, he had a fake leg. So, and you know what? I never had any problems with that guy. And he, he was a young guy, so he was very active. He'd be out on the yard playing basketball, softball, running on that thing, So, anyway, I'd always see him out there, and especially if I was working out there or something, and then working the cell house, I'd see him around, and this one time I'm walking down the gallery and I go by his cell and he had just taken the leg off. And for those of you that don't know, on the top of it, it's like a cup. And it was beat to hell. I mean, the mechanically the thing was working, but that cup and, it was just, the guy wore it and he was very athletic, and it was just from where it was pretty chewed up. And I told him, I said, you want to talk to the doctor because, you're awarded a state and you can get a free leg.
And get it fixed up.
Yeah.
You don't have to be uncomfortable.
I told him, he goes, yeah, okay. He goes, yeah, I'll look into that. I said, yeah, I'm like, the state would pay for it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, weird thing. This is the weird thing. They called me a roll call and said, okay, you got to take a guy on a furlough. And it was him. You can't make that up. So I took him to a place on the west side of Joliet on Theodore. It's gone now. I took him in there. And, of course, I had a partner. You always have, if you got one inmate, you got two guards. And took him in there, and the guy in there saw him, checked out his fake leg, and measured him and everything, and he ended up getting a new leg.
Oh,
so
I'm glad for him.
Yeah, me too. And I was a guard then. I wasn't even a counselor yet, and I was doing counselor type stuff.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
So, okay, another time, I had to take this guy to a dental surgeon on the west side of Joliet, and the building is still there, but it's empty now, up on Jefferson Street. So, okay. Also, I got to mention, whenever you took a guy outside the institution, you got him all chained up. Mm-hmm. He's got leg chains on, cuffs, and a waist chain, and the cuffs are attached to the waist chain. And so he kind of he's kind of like, he's probably seen it on, TV or something. So, okay, I get up there to the oral surgeon's office, and we always have paperwork and stuff. And it usually has special instructions if there's something they want you to do. There was nothing there.
Oh. So
I'm like, okay. So I take the guy right through the front door. Okay?
Sure.
So there's like two old ladies sitting there that are like the age I am now, okay? And they're like, oh my Lord, here's this guy, big guy, chink, I got him. And a young lady.
Clutch. If they were wearing them, they found them.
I know, oh my God. So young lady at the counter, she didn't bat an eye. She goes, "Oh, you can bring him right through here, sir."
Good for her.
And I go, "Okay." Chink, chink. We go through the doorway, and she shows us a little room. We sit down, and the oral surgeon come in and like rip me a new one. What are you doing? We've got a side door. I said,
Tell people about the side door.
I just let him spout. I mean, I'm not getting into it with him. And so he got done yelling and everything, and then he walked out, and then, the inmate and I are laughing at him.
And you both look at each other.
So he saw the inmate, and it was a preliminary type appointment, and just to see what was going on, and he ended up having to go back. I didn't ever take him again. But,
hopefully
anyway,
he told them use the side door.
Get
yelled at him.
So what happened was, okay, finished the appointment. I'm thinking it's all over. Get in the car. We come back. And I'm walking through the front box. And the sergeant says, "Captain wants to see you." I said, okay. So my partner that I had for this particular furlough, he took care of the inmate, got him back inside and everything. And so I walk down to the shift commander's office, and I walk in the door, and the captain's like, "What the hell are you?" And so I got 2 ass chewings that day over that.
Might want to add some special notes to that paperwork, sir.
And so, I didn't say nothing. And I didn't get in any really real trouble. I mean, people can yell at me all they want. That's all right. Then another one I went on, took a guy. He was on the list for a kidney transplant. And it matched him. And we took him up to the U of I hospital so he could get the procedure done. So we took him up there. He had been locked up about 20 years for murder. He got locked up like in 68. This was like 88. So, okay, we pile in the car, and here we go, up to the U of I hospital. And I get off 55, and I'm on Damon. And you know where those viaducts are?
A little.
Well, before you get to the U of I hospital. And,
okay, yeah.
Well, the Chicago Stadium was still up there at the time. Now it's the UC. So I'm on that stretch of Damon, and the inmate's in the back seat. And he says, he goes, "Hey, Mike, watch yourself. This is a speed trap." The guy's been locked up since 1968. And I said, that was 20 years ago. But anyway, we took him to the U of I, and needless to say, they kept him, and I guess he got the transplant.
Did he come back one day?
Yeah, he came back. I didn't see him a lot after that, but I guess it took.
Good for him.
And I mean, like I said, not a lot of follow-up on my part.
Because you weren't bringing him back for another transplant.
Yeah.
No, good for him.
Yep.
I think we're good for this episode.
Okay.
We've reached the end.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of The Obscurity of Maximum Security with Kara Phillip, and most importantly, Mike Johnson. Bye.
Bye.